Um, Another thing, it kind of hit me about something that this is going to be kind of bad for you liberals. You're not going to believe any of this. You're absolutely positively not going to believe any of this. And what I suggest, if you want to actually confirm what I'm saying, you could go to the source. Canadian Muslim historian and writer David Livingstone. Lots of people cite this man even though they don't agree with him. But he's been one of the best people on explaining to the Western world, like, where did these groups come from in Islam that kill other Muslims? Because we aren't told the whole story, but you have to be a Muslim. And if you aren't a Muslim, you wouldn't really be able to, like, understand some of the nuances. Key to this is something that really kind of came out of the secular world with sort of these statements that you'll hear and a lot of you who, if you're seeing this and you're on the left, like, religion is just this thing, just kind of invented. Somebody could just make one up. What's some other ones? It's always oppressive and trying to control you, and it demolishes the culture that was there, and and it's all these accusations of things that, when somebody actually is, say, a kind of a scholar on Christianity and its history, you actually end up finding out that this is actually not really true. This is actually not very accurate. That Christianity, being this sort of religion of the poor and the powerless, and that it wasn't something that was like a cult of status. It ended up being that, and that it actually has its own internal teachings, so as to assuage that and ruin that if it's starting to become that, a cult of status. And so, where like, you could just give priests money and they say, I have talked to God and done special extra double godly things for you, to appeal to God, it's like that kind of thing. Okay, so this is the thing, it was very syncretic, actually. It merged, and so then that's why people attack Christianity the way they do. Note that you liberals don't really attack Islam. None of you on the left would dare do it. But also, it's very important kind of why, at an even more conniving, like, because, the left tends to be bad, that does make sense, and you guys have been extremely good in infecting Islam. Marxist theory it can't be added to Islam. And in no way, shape, or form is allowed to be, Muslims are not allowed to have, like, kind of these wild-eyed ideas of pan-Arabism, wild-eyed ideas about Karl Marx and Leninism and stuff. These guys are haram. They were not Muslims. Their ideas are fundamentally invalid, according to the way that Islam it thinks of everything around it. So a lot of you who cheer these groups on within the Islamic world, you don't understand why Muslims say they aren't real Muslims. Normal people in the first world don't tend to like these groups. This is why you're finding various, like, kind of Islamic or Arabic or Syrian or Semitic people who they don't approve of these groups. But there's only so much that they can do. Why? Because, you guys on the left have made it that fundamentally you have a bunch of violent Marxists. that are trying to work two sets of ideas that cannot work together. And mainly because Marx hates religion. At a fundamental level, he just really hates theists. And as a personal thing, he was really, really into sort of praising Satan, and liked writing works about Satan when he would make art. So this is now this thing of that you're these phonies, that almost everything about all of your ideals are phony. Gender theory stuff, it's all phony. There's no, you guys can't even you can't pass fundamental epistemology on that one. The phenomenology and epistemology is all fucked up when you get to gender theory. Because at some point you have to nail down some kind of concise definition of something, and then prove somewhere in the universe it exists, and that you could prove it because something else is affected by its existence. And you can't do that. And now you've got the issue of, you guys keep cheering on these groups, and so this is the important part where it becomes, where did these Ayatollah guys even come from? And I'm totally serious. Where did they appear from? How is it that you could read various things about the histories? When did you ever hear about some, this great battle in the Mediterranean and the Ayatollah blah, oh no, what are you doing? Okay, no. You don't understand how crossing traffic works. Holy shit. Not the near lane. Don't stop traffic in the near lane. They never get that. The far lane. You could stop it in the far lane, because I could see the near lane. The far lane can't see me. I never understand. It's white women, and you have to literally look at them and tell them to go. No, keep going. And you could see it. You could fucking see it. They don't understand why. No, don't worry. The far lane isn't going to come at top speed and mow you down. But that's Oregon. This is why. This is why Portland is the way it is. That's why Multnomah dominates everything. That's literally that. I know. I think about it. That has to be. I bet that is kind of a liberal white woman thing. Well, you have to stop, but it's do you not understand how much traffic is going? You're supposed to do that as long as it's safe for everybody. How don't you understand the danger you're putting this person? It's now I'm getting it. I can't believe it took so long for me to see this. But anyway, so with the whole thing of France's involvement with Iran, Russia's involvement with Iran, France's interest and with Marxists and their kind of relationship with the USSR, because now this is considered sort of really old history, and Reagan was bad, and Thatcher was bad, and that's as easy as it gets. So nobody ever sits there and says, wait a second, how are they competing economically? Well, Maloney told everyone. They basically had a whole section of Africa working for free up until pretty much about last year. So of course they were doing great. But everybody praises France. Oh, France, croissant. So they played it. Everybody got played. Even the left got played. Most importantly, I want to make sure to, because I was there. I was there before most of you were born. So I just know, like, I've met Boots Riley. I still have the first album on cassette. A bunch of you would be like, you wouldn't even know, because you wouldn't even know who the reference is to. Because the idea of it being a kind of a temporal sort of lineage of an ideology is not exactly real for you guys. You don't see it as like a long-standing thing that changes form and evolves and this and that. And it's because you can't. Because every time the left gets defeated in some way, or doesn't come with it, or doesn't quite succeed as much as they wanted, they have to try to change outfits or something. Now we're like this. Now we're into this. Now we do this. But anyway, the David Livingstone really got into these ideas of Marxism, these weird race mysticism kind of things. All this stuff. This was all stuff that smart, wealthy people in the Ummah got into because they thought smart, wealthy people in the rest of the world being into it, like they wanted to be like the other smart and wealthies, and it poisoned their concepts of governance, and he really goes through this, and has posted all kinds of amazing stuff. Like one of the ones I like best is how the Muslim Brotherhood with al-Banna in Egypt, how bizarre and his shit was to anyone who was an educated person at the time. They were like, this was nonsense. This was this weird quasi-Islamic pan-Arab political screeds that it was nonsense. And theologically speaking, because of course what mattered was theologically speaking, and it was just but you never hear about this stuff because it's a death sentence, and they'll find your family and they'll find your friends, and because it's a real culture and people love their family. That's how they get you. And this is why so many of you on the left, you never have heard anything that criticizes this weird merging of leftist ideas and Islam, two things that cannot go together. And then for a number of other reasons they can't. But just something I was thinking about.